And what I'm fascinated is the tiny nuances in how human beings behave. I tend to start with character, a character in a situation or a premise, and that gets trickier and trickier as I think films become more and more plot-driven. There's a sort of tyranny of plot where everything has to move really quickly and stuff, and I kind of miss things taking their time.
Scary. Hey, you want a toothpick?
You know, the bits of writing I find most exciting is suddenly when I have something in my head and as I'm writing, something completely different happens, or a character suddenly does something, you know, unexpected. I think first thoughts tend to be the most obvious ones. So I often go into the writing day with probably the first sort of slightly more cliched version of how things should be. And I guess the hope is that as you're writing, you start thinking more deeply about who those people really are and how they would behave in a situation. My first draft was very overwritten. I generally tend to overwrite description anyway because I'm sort of interested in, I guess, silent storytelling as much as storytelling through dialogue. Various looks or glances between characters and trying to imply a significance in them and trying to capture the emotion of what's going on underneath the subtext, I guess. First drafts, I also tend to write more dialogue, and that I just cut and cut and cut. It's probably helping me to tell the story, so quite often characters are telling story, which I don't think they should ever be doing. If I do 5 hours a day, I'll stop, and I'll make myself stop, and I'll probably spend the rest of the day reading around the scene or prepping the scene that I'm going to write the next day. So, you know, I go in, so I'll watch a movie which is vaguely connected to what the scene is about or something like that, or read a book or do some research. Once I'd sort of become a writer, I think you become sort of pigeonholed by the industry and you're more valuable to them as a writer. And they think, well, yeah, you write the script and we can use your script to get this really exciting director who we want to kind of come in. And so I had to be fairly convinced that I wanted to do it and wouldn't let anyone else. And that means taking a financial hit, trying to have a degree of control. The biggest breakthrough for me getting a chance to direct was getting an actor, because that's your currency as a director. Whether it's, I think, your first film or your second film is that the money follows the actors, and the actors have to want to work with you. So in my case, I was really lucky that I kind of sent the script to Viggo Mortensen, and we met and chatted, and he said, yeah, you know, I like you, and I kind of like your vision for it. And once he was on, the financing came because they were interested in him. They weren't financing it because of me.
Whiskey?
Sometimes I found with takes, you know, between takes, it's almost not to say anything and almost to create an emotion rather than going, well, actually, you know, this is a scene about this and talk. It was about, you know, just looking moved and giving someone a hug, if that's how you felt. When I was sitting behind the monitor, I'd sort of be thinking, how do I give the note I want to give in the most concise way possible? Because the moment I think they start overthinking it, all that spontaneity goes. So rather than telling them what you want from them is also trying to find out what they do best and really playing to their strengths rather than their weaknesses. And the other thing is also using them as collaborators on a script, I think, is very key, because they're the people who have to go out there and say those lines or act that scene. And if they feel the situation is unrealistic or it's hard for them to do, and they're great actors, there's a reason, there's something not right. When I was directing, I found very quickly that I'd planned stuff out or I'd written a scene like this, and then, you know, you have a discussion with the actors or you rehearse and something more interesting comes up, or a DP or a production designer suddenly puts something where you didn't expect it, and you think, well, actually, I need to change that line, or this needs to drop, or whatever.
Where the hell were you anyway? Where have you guys been?
Please, don't.
Did you sleep with him?
No.
You see what he's doing? He's trying to tear us apart this whole trip.
No.
There's a whole life that all of these people have and what's going on, and I think that's really important to capture when you're shooting.